Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. You ever notice how in the first 30 days of dating, a man will show you exactly who he is if you're paying attention? Oh, he can dress it up. He can smile pretty. He can take you out to dinner and talk smooth. But if you look close, the red flags are waving like a marching band on parade. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about this thing we call inconsistency. Because inconsistency, that's the cousin of dishonesty. You know how you got that one relative that don't ever come to the family reunion but got the most to say on Facebook? That's inconsistency. It's sneaky. It's messy. And when it comes to relationships, it's dangerous. Now, everybody starts out consistent in the beginning. That's the easy part. The man is calling you good morning, good night, what you doing, how's your day, all that stuff. He's showing up early on dates. He's holding doors. He's acting like he's applying for a job. And truth be told, that's exactly what he's doing. The first 30 days of dating, that's the interview. He's polishing his shoes. He's ironing his shirt. He's putting on cologne he can't even afford just to make sure he smells like he got his life together. And you know what? That's fine. Everybody puts their best foot forward at the start. But let me tell you where inconsistency shows up. In the middle of the second week, he forgets. That good morning beautiful text starts coming at 2 p.m. instead of 8 a.m. That I can't wait to see you turns into maybe we'll link up. I'll let you know. You see that? That's inconsistency. And ladies, don't ever underestimate inconsistency because it's telling you the truth in disguise. See, dishonesty is a man looking you dead in the face and lying. Inconsistency is a man saying one thing with his mouth and another with his actions. And I'll be real with you. Actions will always tell on him before his words do. You don't need a PhD in psychology to see it. If a man says he likes you, but his effort keeps shrinking every day, baby, he don't like you as much as he said he did. Now here's the funny thing. Men think they slick. They think you don't notice inconsistency. They think they can sprinkle a little charm on top, throwing a compliment here and there, and you'll be too distracted to realize he's falling off. But let me tell you something, women are the most observant creatures on God's green earth. A woman will notice if you use 2 extra dots in a text message. She'll notice if you changed your cologne, if you breathed differently when you answered the phone, if your tone dipped just a little when you said hello. So if you think she don't notice when you used to text 10 times a day and now it's barely 1. Oh, she noticed. The real question is, why do so many women ignore it? And I'll tell you why. Because inconsistency gives hope. It's like a slot machine. One day he's attentive, he's sweet, he's perfect. Next day he's missing in action. And you're sitting there saying, well, maybe he's just busy. Maybe he's stressed. Maybe he's got a lot on his plate. No, let me stop you right there. A man who truly wants you will not be inconsistent. He will not put you on layaway. He will not treat you like an option. When a man is serious, he's consistent. He shows up every day, even when he's busy, even when he's stressed. See, inconsistency and dishonesty go hand in hand because inconsistency forces you to lie to yourself. You start making excuses for him. You start rewriting the story in your head. Oh, he didn't call me back because he fell asleep. No, he didn't call you back because you weren't a priority. He forgot my birthday, but he's just bad with dates. No, he forgot your birthday because he's not paying attention. That's what inconsistency does. It turns you into his spokesperson, making excuses on his behalf, defending things he ain't even tried to defend himself. Now, let me get real for a second. I've been around men my whole life. I've been a man my whole life. And I'll tell you this, when a man really wants a woman, when he's serious about her, he is annoyingly consistent. He will not give you peace. He will call you when you're at work, when you're on lunch break, when you're getting your hair done. He will send flowers just because. He will show up on time. He will want to know if you ate, if you met a man and he's too busy. To be consistent, what he's really saying is, I don't value you enough to be consistent because no man is too busy for what he truly wants. Let me tell you a story. I knew this brother once who swore up and down he was too busy for relationships. Always working, always grinding, always chasing the next deal. But then he met this woman he was crazy about. And let me tell you what happened. Suddenly he had all the time in the world. He was flying across the country to see her. He was sending her gifts. He was texting her every morning like clockwork. You know what changed? Not his schedule, his priorities. That's how you know inconsistency ain't about circumstances. It's about value. And the truth is inconsistency hurts more than dishonesty sometimes. Because dishonesty, you can catch it. You can say, this man lied to me. That's black and white. But inconsistency, that's gray. That's confusing. One day you feel special. The next day you feel invisible. One day he's all over you. The next day he's cold as ice. That up and down will mess with your self-esteem quicker than anything. You'll start questioning yourself. What did I do wrong? Why is he pulling back? Did I say something? Am I not enough? And that's the trick inconsistency plays. It makes you think his lack of effort is somehow your fault. But let me drop this on you. Inconsistency is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of his intentions. A man who is serious, intentional, and honest will not be inconsistent. He may not be perfect, but he'll be steady. He may mess up sometimes, but you'll always know where you stand. Inconsistency. That's a man who wants the benefits of your time, your love, your energy, but don't want the responsibility that comes with it. And that's dishonest. That's why I say inconsistency is the cousin of dishonesty, because it's deception without words. And here's what I need y'all to understand. The first 30 days are critical. That's when you set the tone. If you allow inconsistency early on, it becomes the pattern. If he can cancel plans last minute and you accept it, that's the rhythm he'll keep. If he can disappear for 3 days and then pop back up with a, what's up? And you welcome him like nothing happened. Guess what? That's who he'll be for the rest of the relationship, because you trained him. You showed him it was acceptable. And once a man knows you'll tolerate inconsistency, he don't feel the need to fix it. Now, let me flip it real quick, because some of y'all might be saying, well, Steve, maybe he's just nervous. Maybe he doesn't want to come on too strong. And listen, I get it. Some men are cautious. Some men are slow to open up. But cautious is not inconsistent. Slow and steady is still steady. A man who's cautious will still communicate. He'll still make effort. He might take his time with vulnerability, but he won't leave you guessing if he's interested. Inconsistency leaves you in confusion. And confusion is not love. I'm telling you right now. The next time you see a man switch up in those 30 days, one day he's Prince Charming, the next day he's Casper, the friendly ghost. Don't ignore it. Don't dress it up. Don't put glitter on it and call it gold. Recognize it for what it is, dishonesty in disguise. And remember, a man who truly wants you will not confuse you. He will not make you doubt. He will be consistent, even in the small things, because consistency is how men prove sincerity. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that a lot of people get wrong about relationships. Everybody's out here chasing love, looking for love, begging for love. But what you don't realize is that love ain't the first thing that shows up. Respect shows up before love does. You can't even have real love without respect. Love without respect is just infatuation in a Halloween costume. It looks good, it feels good, but it's fake. See, we've been fed these fairy tales since we were kids. You know how it goes. The prince meets the princess, the music swells, and boom, love at first sight. But let me tell you something. Love at first sight might sound cute in a Disney movie, but in real life, that's just lust with good lighting. Because here's the truth. You don't fall in love with somebody until you've seen who they really are. You don't fall in love until you've seen them angry, tired, broke, frustrated, stressed. You don't fall in love until you've seen the layers. But you know what shows up immediately? Respect. You can tell if a man respects you within the first 30 days. That's the real measure. Let me break this down. A man who respects you ain't going to keep you waiting. Respect shows up in how he talks to you, how he listens to you, how he values your time. You don't need 3 months to figure out respect. It's instant. You'll know by the way he introduces you, by the way he looks at you when you're speaking, by whether he puts his phone down to pay attention or keeps scrolling like TikTok is more important than what you've got to say. Respect is foundational. It's the floor love stands on. You ever see a house with no foundation? It might look pretty for a while, but the first storm that comes through, that thing is gone. That's what happens when you try to build love without respect. It crumbles because love can't survive where respect don't live. Now, men know this better than anybody. You can't love a woman you don't respect. You might desire her, you might want her, but you can't love her. And let me be clear, respect ain't just about not calling her out her name or not hitting her. That's the bare minimum. Respect is deeper than that. Respect is how you prioritize her feelings. Respect is how you protect her space. Respect is how you honor her boundaries. If a man don't respect you, everything else he's doing is temporary. It's like renting a car. You can drive it around, you can polish it up, but you know it ain't yours. That's how a man without respect treats a woman. Let me give you an example. I knew this young lady once who was dating this guy. He told her he loved her. He said it all the time. Every time he hung up the phone, I love you. Every text message, love you. But you know what he never did? He never listened when she said she didn't like something. She told him she didn't like being left on read. He still did it. She told him she wanted him to call if he was running late. He never did. She told him she felt uncomfortable with the way he joked about her in front of his friends. Guess what? He kept right on joking. Now let me ask you, was that love? No, because there was no respect. Those I love yous were just decorations. Respect is action. Respect is listening and adjusting. And men, fellas, listen to me here. You don't even get to love if you can't respect first. That's the test. You can't say you love a woman and then ignore her boundaries. You can't say you love her and then embarrass her in public. You can't say you love her and then make her feel small. Love without respect is like trying to drive a car with no engine. You can sit in it, you can turn the wheel, but you ain't going nowhere. Respect also shows up in consistency. When a man respects you, he shows up when he says he will. He calls when he says he will. He don't make promises he can't keep because he knows breaking them breaks your trust. A man who respects you understands your time is valuable and he won't waste it. A man who respects you will never keep you guessing about his intentions because confusion is disrespectful. Now, some of y'all get blinded because the man is saying all the right things. He's charming, he's funny, he's romantic. But if his actions don't align with his words, that ain't respect. That's performance. And here's the thing, performance fades. You can only fake consistency for so long. But respect, that's who you are. That's how you treat people at the core. If he doesn't have it in those first 30 days, he won't have it in 30 years. Ladies, let me speak to you directly. Stop falling for I love you when I respect you. Hasn't been proven yet. You got to stop letting men skip the first step. Love is dessert. Respect is the meal. You don't get full off cake if you didn't eat dinner, and you shouldn't let a man serve you love without serving you respect first. Because if you take it out of order, you end up starving for the thing that really matters. Respect also shows up in how a man talks about women in general. If he talks down on his mama, if he calls his ex crazy every 5 minutes, if he thinks every woman who turns him down is stuck up, listen to me. He don't respect women. And I promise you, if he don't respect women, it's only a matter of time before he don't respect you either. Don't think you're the exception. Respect is a lifestyle, not a switch he flips on and off. Let me add this too. Respect shows up when you're not around. A man who respects you speaks well of you in rooms you'll never walk into. A man who respects you doesn't let people disrespect your name when you're not there to defend yourself. That's how you know it's real. Because love is easy when you're holding hands across the table at dinner. Respect is proven when you're nowhere in sight. Now, ladies, let me tell you why respect before love is so important. Because respect protects you from games. If you wait to see respect before you believe in love, you save yourself from heartbreak. Love will have you forgiving what you shouldn't forgive. Love will have you staying longer than you should stay. Love will make you excuse things that are inexcusable. But respect don't lie. You can't fake respect for long. I've been on this earth long enough to know this. If a man respects you, love will follow. But if a man says he loves you without respect, that love is on a timer. It's got an expiration date. And most of the time, that expiration date comes quick. That's why I keep telling y'all, don't get swept up by, I love you in the first month. Look for, I respect you. Look for it in his actions, in his consistency, in the way he treats you when he's tired, when he's frustrated, when he doesn't feel like it. That's where respect lives. And the best part, respect don't need a holiday. Respect don't need Valentine's Day. Respect don't need a birthday reminder. Respect is every day. Respect is in the little things, holding the door, asking if you got home safe, checking in to see if you ate, listening when you're upset instead of trying to fix it right away. Respect is constant. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. In the first 30 days of dating, you don't need no rocket science. You don't need no relationship coach. You don't even need your girlfriends breaking it down over brunch. All you got to do is watch effort, because effort is loud. You can see it, you can hear it, you can feel it. When a man is putting in effort, you ain't got to guess. You don't have to go searching for hidden clues like you're solving a crime. He makes it obvious. Now, let's be real. Excuses are just as loud. Matter of fact, Sometimes excuses scream louder than effort. And when you're paying attention, you'll notice it every time. A man who wants you, who's serious about you, who sees you as somebody valuable in his life, will show you with effort. A man who ain't serious, who ain't ready, who don't respect your time, he's going to hand you a bag full of excuses. And those excuses, oh Lord, they come in every flavor. I'm busy. I forgot. Something came up. I've just been under stress. You ever notice the excuse pile starts building up right after the honeymoon phase wears off? See, here's the thing about men. When we want something, we put effort into it. Point blank, I don't care if he's broke, tired, stressed, or busy. If he wants it bad enough, he'll find a way. That's how men operate. Think about a man in his car. He'll work a 12-hour shift, but he'll still wash that car on Saturday morning, armor all the tires, vacuum the carpet. Why? Because he values it. He respects it. And when a man values a woman the same way, effort comes easy. But when he don't value you, when he's just passing the time, excuses start rolling out his mouth like a script. He'll look you in your face and say, I really wanted to come see you, but I had to fill in a blank. Notice how those blanks always sound the same. Work, stressed, tired, busy. Same song, different verse. And ladies, y'all are so generous. You accept those excuses because you want to believe in his potential. But listen to me, potential don't show up, effort does. Effort is picking up the phone and calling when he said he would. Effort is showing up on time. Effort is remembering the little details you mentioned in passing, like your favorite snack or how you had a big meeting at work. Effort is planning a date instead of always asking what you want to do. Effort ain't expensive, but it's intentional. When a man is intentional, you don't have to remind him, you don't have to beg him, you don't have to wonder. Now, let's flip it. Excuses are lazy. Excuses are cheap. Excuses take no effort at all. They're just words. And the funny thing is, a man will spend more energy building excuses than he would if he just did the thing in the first place. You ever had somebody cancel plans with you and the story just sound too detailed? Like, well, I was on my way, but then my boss called, and then my tire pressure light came on, and then my cousin needed a ride, the story long enough to be a movie script. All that energy to avoid saying the truth. I didn't make you a priority. See, effort and excuses can't live in the same house. If you see more excuses than effort in those first 30 days, you're looking at a man who's not serious. Because the first month is when men are supposed to be at their best. That's when they're supposed to be showing you the highlight reel, putting in overtime, proving they're worth your attention. So if in those first 30 days, all you're getting is excuses, what do you think the next 30 days is going to look like? Or the next year? Let me give you a real life example. I once knew a brother who was courting this woman. Now, this man worked 2 jobs, long hours, but he was into her. You know what he did? He would call her during his lunch break every single day, even if it was just for 5 minutes. He would send her little notes in the morning before he went to work. And when he finally got a day off, he planned a whole picnic for her in the park. Now, that's effort. She never had to wonder where she stood with him. Contrast that with another guy I knew. This man had all the free time in the world. He wasn't working much, wasn't busy. But every time this woman asked to see him, he had a new excuse. I'm tired. Oh, I've got to take care of something. I'll hit you up later. And later never came. That's excuses. And let me tell you something. She wasted months on him waiting for effort that never showed up. The loudest thing about effort is how consistent it is. You can't miss it. When a man is consistent with effort, he's telling you without words, you matter. But excuses are loud in another way. They drown out what little effort he puts in. You can't hear his, I miss you, over the noise of, I can't right now. You can't feel special when you're carrying the weight of disappointment. Excuses are like static on the radio. You might hear the music once in a while, but mostly it's just noise. And here's another truth: effort don't have to be grand. It ain't about how much money he spends. It's about how much thought he puts in. A man who brings you your favorite candy bar just because he remembered you mentioned it. Baby, that's louder than 1,000 excuses. A man who calls you when he lands after a flight just to let you know he's safe. That's louder than any story about why he forgot. Small, consistent effort speaks volumes. Excuses, on the other hand, will always point back to one thing: priorities. A man will always find time for what he values. If he can sit on the couch for 4 hours watching football, but he can't spare 10 minutes to call you, you already know where you rank. If he can post on social media all day, but can't reply to your text, you already know where you stand. If he can show up for his boys, but not for you, then baby, you already got your answer. The problem is a lot of women want to turn down the volume on those excuses. You hear them, but you pretend you don't. You say, well, he's trying, or hey, he's just not good at expressing himself. Let me stop you there. Men are good at effort when they care. Think about that man who loves basketball. He remembers the stats, the scores, the players' names, the draft picks from 10 years ago. Don't tell me men can't remember. Don't tell me men can't put in effort. They do it every day for what matters to them. If you matter, effort will be loud. And let me hit you with this. The first 30 days are like a trailer for the movie. You see all the best parts. You see the highlights. You see the highlights. You see the energy. If that trailer is already full of excuses, what you think the full movie is going to be. Don't expect effort to show up later if it ain't showing up now. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that'll save you a whole lot of time, a whole lot of tears, and a whole lot of therapy money. Red flags don't turn green with time. They just don't. I don't care how fine he is. I don't care how much potential he's got. I don't care what sweet words he whispers at night. A red flag in the first 30 days is still going to be a red flag in the 30th month. The only thing that changes is how many times you ignored it. Now see, people got this habit of thinking they can outlove a red flag. You know what I'm talking about. You meet a man and right out the gate, he shows you something off. Maybe he's rude to the waiter. Maybe he don't call when he said he would. Maybe he talks over you every time you try to speak. That's a flag waving in your face like a matador with a bull. But instead of calling it what it is, you say, oh, maybe he's just nervous. Maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe if I stick around, he'll change. No, baby. That's not how this works. A bad day is once in a while. A red flag is a pattern, and patterns don't shift just because you hope they will. See, let me tell you something I know about men. When a man shows you who he is in the beginning, that's the rawest version of himself. He might try to dress it up for a little bit, but the truth always leaks out. If he's selfish, you'll see it in the first month. If he's controlling, you'll feel it in the first month. If he's inconsistent, you'll notice it in the first month. And the biggest mistake women make is thinking time will soften those edges. Time don't fix character. Time exposes character. I've seen women hang on to red flags like they were trophies. They collect them. Well, he's got a little temper, but he's passionate. No, he's got anger issues. He disappears sometimes, but he always comes back. No, he's unreliable. He doesn't introduce me to his family yet, but he says he will later. No, he's hiding you. You can't turn red into green just because you want to. The only thing you can do with a red flag is acknowledge it. Now, let me break this down with some humor, because y'all know I like to keep it real. Red flags are like those check engine lights in your car. You see it pop up, you hear the little ding, and you say to yourself, oh, it's probably nothing. I'll get it looked at later. Next thing you know, you're on the side of the highway calling AAA because your whole engine just gave out. Relationships work the same way. You see the warning early, you ignore it, and down the road, it costs you way more than it should have. Here's the funny thing. Women will see a red flag and turn into interior designers. They start decorating it, dressing it up, making it look pretty. Well, he's not perfect, but nobody is. At least he's not as bad as my ex. He has potential. That word right there, potential, has trapped more women than anything I've ever seen. Potential don't pay the bills. Potential don't heal wounds. Potential don't fix broken patterns. A man's potential is not your project. If he's waving a red flag, that's who he is right now. And who he is right now is who you're dating, not who he might be one day. Let me tell you a story. I knew this young woman once, smart girl, beautiful, had everything going for her. She met this man and right away he was charming. But he had this one red flag, he drank too much. She noticed it on the first date. He ordered drink after drink, got a little sloppy, said some out-of-pocket things. She laughed it off, thought maybe it was just nerves. But it kept happening. Every time they went out, same story. She kept saying, well, he'll grow out of it. Maybe once we get serious, he'll slow down. Fast forward 2 years, now she's dealing with full-blown alcoholism, arguments, money problems, chaos. That red flag she ignored didn't turn green. It turned into a fire she had to put out every day. See, red flags are not suggestions. They're not little quirks. They're warnings. And the problem is, too many people think they can outweight them, outlove them, outpray them. Now, don't get me wrong. People can grow. people can change, but that's only if they want to. You can't want it for them. You can't push them into it. And you definitely can't build a relationship on a red flag hoping it'll fade with time. Because let me tell you something, time don't fade red. If anything, time makes the red brighter. Let's talk about why people ignore red flags. The truth is, loneliness makes folks blind. You've been single for a while, you meet somebody who gives you attention, and suddenly you're overlooking things you'd normally never tolerate. That loneliness whispers in your ear, well, at least he's here. But let me tell you something, being alone is better than being with the wrong one, because the wrong one will drain you dry. The wrong one will make you wish you had stayed single. Another reason people ignore red flags, hope. You start building stories in your head about the future. Maybe he'll change once we move in together. Maybe he'll grow up once we have kids. Maybe once he sees how much I love him, he'll stop acting like that. No, that's not how it works. Kids don't fix red flags. Rings don't fix red flags. Moving in don't fix red flags. All those things do is make the problem bigger, because now you're tied to it. Let me flip it from the man's side for a second. Men see red flags too, but you know what we do? We run. A man sees a woman throwing red flags, being disrespectful, being manipulative, being reckless. He don't stick around saying, well, maybe she'll grow out of it. No. He packs his bag and leaves. But women, y'all stay because you're nurturers, you're fixers, you see the good in people. And I respect that. But sometimes that nurturing turns into denial. You're so busy fixing that you don't realize you're breaking yourself in the process. And let's be clear, red flags don't mean you're a bad person. A red flag is just a signal that you and this person ain't aligned. Maybe he's not a bad man, but he's not your man. Maybe he's not ready for the kind of love you need. That's fine. But don't waste years hoping time will turn it around. Time don't fix mismatched values. Time don't change immaturity into maturity unless the person puts in the work. And if he's showing you in the first 30 days that he ain't putting in the work, you better believe that ain't gonna change just because you waited longer. Let me go back to the car analogy because I love it. Think about it. If you bought a car and within the first month the brakes were squeaking, the engine light was on, the air conditioner was broken, would you say, well, maybe if I keep driving it, it'll fix itself? No. You take it back to the lot. You'd say, give me another one. But in relationships, people keep driving that broken car hoping one day it'll turn into a Mercedes. It don't work like that. If it's broken when you got it, it's going to stay broken until the owner decides to fix it. And you ain't the mechanic. Here's something else I've noticed. A lot of people confuse patience with tolerating red flags. Patience is waiting for somebody to call you back when they're stuck at work. Patience is understanding that people aren't perfect and relationships take time. Tolerating red flags is ignoring disrespect, ignoring lies, ignoring behavior that makes you feel small. That's not patience, that's self-betrayal. And self-betrayal will eat you alive. The reality is, when a man is right for you, you don't have to justify red flags because there won't be any. He might not be perfect, but he won't give you patterns that make you question yourself. He won't leave you confused, disrespected, or drained. That's how you know the difference between normal human flaws and red flags. A flaw is forgetting to take the trash out once in a while. A red flag is lying about where he was last night. Don't mix the two up.